Hey y'all. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about why I chose to quit tech sales, or as I like to call it, I pivoted from tech sales to another field in tech, which is technical writing. But today we're going to talk about why I chose to leave that field in the first place in terms of tech sales. All right, so but before I share with you why I pivoted out of that role, let's talk about why I got started with this role in the first place. So before I broke into tech, specifically tech sales as a BDR, I was working at a company, a pretty large company. I was doing payroll. I was there for about a little over a year. Was it a year? No, it was almost a year. So I was there for 10 months. And then those last couple of months, my father got sick and then he eventually passed away. And I know that from him passing away, from looking at some of his documents and some of his pictures and things that he would keep in a notebook, it was revealed that he wanted to do a whole lot more traveling once he retired, but he was 1 year shy of retiring before he passed away. But after seeing that my father had passed away from, his illness, just 1 year short of retiring, it really showed me how short life was. And so I made it my vow to find a career that would allow me to travel while working. Essentially, I wanted a 100% remote role that would allow me to live my life while still working. At the time, I was working in a hybrid environment, and that just wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I was just kind of settling or going with the motions of life. So you can say that my father's death, it was like my rebirth in a sense. So yeah, that's what made me want to pursue tech sales, was because I knew that it was a career that was like work from home or work remotely, and I could travel while I worked. So that was my main goal for wanting to get in that field. So it took me about a good 4 months after I completed a tech boot camp. Took me about a good 4 months to find a role as a BDR at a startup. I was there for 6 months, got laid off. 2 months after my layoff, I was able to find a position at another company, a large company, and I was an account executive. And I quickly moved up within the ranks at that company. Um, I moved to an enterprise role, I think my second month after training, and I was knocking the quota out the park. And even though I was doing really well in my role, I just knew that that was something I didn't want to do long term, because as an introvert, I was doing very meaningful work. The company I worked at, I believed in their mission, I believed in their software, their products, and the training was amazing. Okay, that was some of the best training I've had from a job in a very long time. I think that's what kind of contributed to my success in the role, in addition to me just doing my own individual research outside of the job, on the company's products and things like that. But yeah, it was some of the best training. Like I said, I was hitting quota. I had some great leaders there at the job, great coworkers, but still, I just knew that that was something I didn't want to do full time, because, and this is gonna sound real silly because whatever. I mean, the job entails being on the phone, right? But I didn't want to be on the phone every day for 8 hours a day. It was an inbound role. So I would sit there sometimes and wait for calls to come in. Sometimes it'd be really slow. And, with me working that BDR role in the past, at the startup, that was an outbound role. So I could, make my calls, be done with my calls for the day. I would finish within about 6 hours. Sometimes it'll be 5.5 hours that I'll get all my calls done, book my meetings, things like that. But working an inbound role, you're really tied to the phones for 8 hours a day, or until your shift ends. And yeah, that was kind of wearing on me after a while. And for me, I'm a little too old to be told when to go to lunch and I have to be back within 30 minutes or whatever and then have 15-minute breaks. I'm like, no, I just stopped losing the passion of working for a good company because of those strict mandates. And I know that, working a job, you have to follow the rules and things like that. But I just need more flexibility in my life personally. So that was the main reason why I wanted to get out of that role specifically. And also, while I was in the role, so we had a Slack channel where people would put a lot of questions into the channel. They would need help, like while they're actually live on the phones. They would need assistance with navigating some things in Salesforce. And I kept noticing that some people were asking the same questions over and over. And I'm like, this should be documented. Like, I know how to do this. And I would help them while they were on the phone. But I, took it upon myself to create documents, like step by step guides to help them to navigate those things that they were having issues with. And so I would type those things out, put them in the Slack channel, pin that document onto the Slack channel, and people noticed that. And then someone approached me saying, "This is really good. Have you considered looking into technical writing?" And I'm like, "No, I never heard of that." Actually, I had seen the role posted a couple times, but I didn't, think to do any research on what their role entails. But with me, I've always had, a way with words in terms of writing. When I was in sixth grade, my English teacher told me that, you will make a great author one day. Matter of fact, she said specifically, and I wish I had this screenshot with me or the picture or the note with me, but all my stuff was burned in an apartment fire back in 2020. So there's that. But anyway, what the note said from my sixth grade English teacher was, if you keep this writing up one day, I'll be reading one of your books. And I did end up writing a book one day, many, many years later. But yeah, then, matriculating through college, high school, all throughout middle school, I would get nothing but A's and A pluses on my written papers. I just love to write. It's one of my gifts. So, yeah, that paired with my technical knowledge and ability to break down complex information in a manner that people can, understand it clearly. That's another gift of mine too. So, yeah, when they saw that, they were like, man, you should consider looking into technical writing. And so that same evening that I got, that feedback, I did some research on the role. And I was like, oh my God, like my jaw dropped. Not literally, but I was blown away by the information that I found. And I thought, okay, I can do this. So that's when that following weekend, I reinstated my business, Gifted with the Pen, because it had been kind of dormant for a while. I had actually unregistered the business from the state of Georgia. But anyway, I got that up and running again. And I just kind of went out on a whim and contacted a couple of startups and asked them if they needed some technical writing done for just to have some information kind of laid out for their employees when they get more employees on board. That way they're not scrambling and scraping around trying to teach them things. That way that it's already laid out and outlined and typed out for them. So I got two that said yes. They gave me their price. I agreed with that. And the rest is history. I thought to just go ahead and put in my 2 weeks from the tech sales job that I had, bet on myself, and just ride this wave. So yeah, deep down in my heart, I feel like this is going to work. But if for some reason it doesn't work, or if I feel like I need to pursue full-time employment again, it will definitely be in the realm of technical writing for, I don't know, a startup or an enterprise company. Who knows? Only God knows. And I just keep on doing the work while exemplifying faith, stepping out on faith and trusting in God. And we'll just see where this journey takes me. But yeah, I just wanted to do this video because I got quite a few people in my inbox on LinkedIn asking me what was it about technical writing that I chose over tech sales. And so yeah, I hope this explains that to you. And also too, one thing I want to mention for those that are looking to get into tech sales, for me, I never had a sales background, so I didn't really know how the commission payout was structured. I was thinking that I get my commission on the same check. I mean, that's what happened when I was at the startup, but at other companies, I was informed that at other companies, the standard is to pay you out within 4 to 6 weeks after that month or whatever. And I just really wasn't comfortable with that either. So that's something that a lot of people won't tell you. Getting into tech sales, you're going to have to wait for that commission check, wait weeks at a time. So just to kind of illustrate, it's now, as I'm recording this video, it's April 2024, and I'm just now getting paid out for my February commission. So yeah, you do the math on that. So just know that you're going to have to wait for your commission check. And if you are comfortable with that, then that's fine. And if you're not comfortable with that, you may want to reconsider if you want to get into tech sales in the first place. So yeah, it can be very lucrative once you kind of learn the sales cycle and learn those sales methodologies and make the best of it. It may be for you short term, like it was for me. And I'm very grateful that I was in the role because it did teach me a lot that was going to help me with my freelancing entrepreneurship journey. So nothing was wasted, no time was wasted, no money was wasted, because in the end, it all led me to where I am now. But yeah, so that's today's video. If you like this, feel free to leave me a thumbs up, leave a comment. If you have a question for me, please feel free to let me know. You can either leave a comment down below or find me on LinkedIn. My links are in my my bio. Other than that, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.